Alright students, welcome back after the break. Chalo, we'll go ahead and start our second part now. Everyone over here. This morning we had started learning with GST ka constitutional provision. So constitutional provision, if I tell you article number 265 is there, which says no tax can be levied. Everyone with me, people with me, no tax can be levied or collected without the authority of law. Article 245 says power to levy parliament for the whole of India, state legislature for state. 246 went ahead and divided the power between union and state and the concurrent list. Then Baba, article number 254 told supremacy of the law made by the parliament over state legislature. Then we had article number 246A which told about IGST ka levy. Article number 269A which told IGST will be levied by the central government and then it will be apportioned between the central government and state government. Then we had 286 which told state will have no power to levy tax on supply of goods or service. Right everyone. Then we had cess ka levy, that GST mein no cess can be levied by the central government. Baba, they can't go ahead and levy any cess. Parliament cannot go ahead and levy any cess on GST. However, GST compensation cess ka levy was authorized by section number 18 of the Constitutional Amendment Act 2016. Then we learned about GST Council. Sir, GST Council is a constitutional body. It has 33 members. 50% of the members represent the quorum. Baba, then we learned about that votes of the center will have a vote, will have a weighted vote of 33% and states will have 66.61% divided by the number of members present and voting multiplied by the number of votes casted in favor, and it should be 75% to meet majority. Now we have the GST common portal. Sir, what do you mean by common portal? Common portal. Now common portal, if you go ahead and see www.gstn ka network which is there, www.gst.gov.in, that is the common portal, sir. Why it is called the common portal, sir? Because it facilitates payment of GST. Sir, you can go take registration, sir. You can go on that portal, you can file your return, sir. You can go on that portal, you can make your GST ka payment, sir. You can go on that portal, file your refund application, sir. You can go on that portal, you will receive all your notices and you can reply to your notices. So it is known as the common portal, gst.gov.in, right everyone? GST electronic portal www.gst.gov.in is a website managed by Goods and Service Tax Network. It has been formed, it has been set up by the government to establish a uniform interface for taxpayers. So taxpayers will have a interface in front of them where they can go ahead and file all their returns, etc., and a common and shared IT infrastructure between center and state. So for what will happen, this gst.gov.in which is there here, central government will receive the IGST amount, then the IGST amount which is received has to be also apportioned, no, 50% here and 50% here. How this 50-50 is done? Baba, do you think so many people paying IGST, so many people are paying taxes, do you think it is possible for the government to sit and check all of them, that which should go to which state? So Baba, GST common portal which is there, it's a common portal between center and state. So both the center and states share the expenses of the common portal also. And Baba, whenever any IGST amount is collected, CGS, how apportionment will be done, when it goes from here to another state, sir, how 50% will be done. So many transactions are happening, so the common portal takes care of it, sir. Government has gone ahead and spent around 1500 crores for making the portal. The portal ka maintenance is also there, huge amount which is coming. All these expenses have to be shared between center and state also. So why it's a common and shared IT infrastructure. It is not that when I have to make central government ko payment, I go to central government ka website. When I have to make state ko payment, I go to state government ka website. No, it is a common infrastructure where both the government ka payment you can make together. So this is just a shared infrastructure between the center and the state. So both the central government and the state government both are using this infrastructure. The common portal is accessible over internet by taxpayers and their CAs, advocates, etc., and intranet by tax official. Basically, the within the system, within the organization ka network is known as intranet, and outside the organization, basically what we go ahead and use and access the GST portal is the internet. What are the functions of the GSTN? Facilitating registration. You can take a registration. Forwarding the return to central and state authorities. Baba, whatever return you are filing, if your officer is a central government officer, see, for me, my officer can be a CGST central government ka officer also, means a center ka officer also, or my officer can be a state officer also. Baba, he can be a center GST ka officer or he can be a state GST officer also. Sir, how is it decided whether your officer will be central level or state level? Basically, mostly it is dependent on the income. If my income is over 1.5 crore, then mostly my officer will be central wala. Sir, but if your income is lower than 1.5 crore, then generally it comes to state GST officers. Generally, however, whoever is my officer, my return is forwarded to him. Sir, so forwarding of return to state and center ka authorities, computation and settlement of IGST. When IGST comes to the central government has to keep 50% to the destination state. Who will do all these things? In a day, crores of transaction is happening. Who will do? So, Baba, that is done by the portal. Matching of tax payment detail with banking network. So basically, if I have made the payment, Baba, the portal will verify whether the actually the payment has been received or not. So matching will be done by them. Providing various MIS report to central government. MIS means monthly information system. Monthly information reports are being provided to the central government and state government based on the taxpayers' return information. So whatever information we are furnishing, if supposedly central government is telling, I want to know that under me whoever assessees are there, how much is my income, from which level, which group of category ka people, then Baba, central government can ask for a report. Various kinds of report can be generated. All can be generated by the portal. Providing analysis of taxpayers profile. What do you mean by providing analysis of taxpayers profile? Whether he is a good taxpayer, whether he is filing all his return on time. Baba, there is something called a compliance rating, wherein a taxpayer will be given rating based on the frequency he is filing his return, making his payment. If he is doing everything on time, he is a good taxpayer, so his rating will be high. So the common portal will give him ratings. So all these things are decided by the common portal. Providing analysis of taxpayers profile. So taxpayer ka profile, how is the taxpayer? Is he good? Is he filing his return on time? Is he making the payments on time? Baba, it is like the CIBIL score which you have. The same way how we have our CIBIL scores, the same way the common portal will start giving you the taxpayers, basically the registered person, their rating based on how, their manner of filing returns, etc. So if my rating is good, people will buy from me because Ramesh has a good rating. So whatever taxes I collect from them, I am paying it to the government correctly. So government will give me a 5-star rating. If I have a 5-star rating, so whatever taxes are paid by this person to me, he can take the credit only if I make the payment. Sir, if I have collected tax from one person, if I make the payment, only then he gets the credit. Are you getting my point? So if I have a good compliance rating, it means I am going ahead and making my payment on time. So people will like to buy from me. If a person has a very low compliance rating, people would not like to buy from him, because if you buy from him, he will not pay to government. If he doesn't pay to government, you will not get the credit. So that's a problem, right? So that is also given by the common portal. The portal is one single common portal for all GST related services like obtaining registration, paying taxes, filing of returns, etc. Baba, for all the things refund related, all issues, you have to go to the common portal. Provide 3 front services to taxpayer, mainly registration, then sir payment, and sir returns through the common portal. This is the 3 front end services. Other than this also many services are being provided. Now for e-way bill generation, government did not go ahead and keep it on the gst.gov.in. They went ahead and created a separate website for e-way bill generation. Sir, why sir? Because on a day-to-day basis, everyone, on a day-to-day basis, government has to go ahead on a day-to-day basis, lakhs of people are going ahead and generating e-way bill. Now when lakhs of people are generating e-way bill, of course a different website was required, otherwise the main website will get stuck or it will get hanged. So government went ahead and created one more website, which is www.ewaybillgst.gov.in, which is also known as the common portal. I hope everyone is clear, and this is a website for generation, extension, cancellation, etc. relating to e-way bill. For everything related to e-way bill, you have to visit another common portal, which is www.ewaybillgst.gov.in. I hope everyone is clear. People who have a doubt, sir, how does the website look? Do one thing, type this today www.gst.gov.in, you will be able to see the website that is known as the common portal, and also www.ewaybillgst.gov.in is also known as the common portal. Let's go ahead everyone. But this website is managed by whom? National Informatics Center, Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology. I hope everyone is clear. Functions of GST is one question which they sometimes go ahead and ask for 2-3 marks, but generally they should be asking at intermediate or IPC level, but still sometimes they go ahead and ask, so reading once is not a problem, you will always be remembering it, right everyone? Let's go ahead and see the next one, GSPs and ASPs. See, I'll tell you what happens. Everyone here, what is a GSP and what is an ASP? Now, this is the www.gst.gov.in where you have to go ahead and upload all the details of the invoices of your purchases, of your sales ka details, not the invoices, the details, some details which are required, date of purchase, amounts, etc., from where I have purchased, place of supply, all those details you have to go online and upload on the portal. This is the common portal. Now, supposingly there is here Reliance. Reliance is using one software. And doing accounting. Reliance is going ahead and doing accounting of all its invoices. Now, every month end, Reliance has lakhs of transaction of sale, lakhs of transaction of purchase. Do you think so? Reliance has to go ahead and upload all the details, right everyone? Accounts ka, all the invoices ka detail, invoices related, all details have to be uploaded on the common portal. When they are filing the return, they have to give, sir, from whom I have purchased, what is my GST number, sir, the amount of tax which is collected, all those details, purchase and sales ka details you have to upload. Now, when you have to go ahead and upload, just imagine, first of all, the accountant has to go ahead and account all of them. So, accountant is going ahead, sitting and accounting all of them. And secondly, he has to go to the common portal and also go ahead and upload all the detail. Baba, that will become very difficult. So, what government went ahead and decided that we will go ahead and create someone who is known as a GSP, GST Suvidha Provider. We will go ahead and appoint some companies as a GSP. What GSP will do is, GSP will help these big people who are there to go ahead and provide the details of their invoice on the portal. Basically, what GSP will do, GSP will go ahead and pull, GSP will go ahead and make such software. They will make such software so that what will happen, all the details can be pulled from here and then it can be pushed into the website. So basically, whatever software, supposing Reliance is using Oracle software for accounting, Reliance is using Oracle software, so the GSP will make such a software. That software will pull from GST Suvidha Provider. Suvidha means ease. So in ease in GST provider basically. So he will, Suvidha means GST Suvidha Provider. Suvidha means easiness. So he will pull all the detail and all the details will be pushed onto the website. So basically what will happen, there will be no Reliance does not have to go ahead and put again efforts and again put everything on the website, again all details to be uploaded. That is not required by Reliance, because the GSP which is appointed will go ahead and develop a software which will help them in pulling and pushing everything to the website. So Baba, GSPs, GSTN has appointed certain IT, ITS and financial technology companies. So basically, who will be GSPs? IT, ITES or financial technology companies basically, and this will be known as GST Suvidha Provider. GSPs develop applications which are used by taxpayer for interacting with GSTN website. So what GSPs will do, GSP will develop an application. The application which is developed by GSP will help all the data to be pulled and pushed directly to the website. I hope everyone is clear. They facilitate the taxpayer in uploading invoices as well as filing of return and acting as single stop solution for all GST related services. Baba, I have to file my return, sir, I want your help. They will go ahead and develop some application and help you guys so that your process is being simplified. So Baba, when GST came in, people were like, the process has become difficult. So government have gone ahead and appointed GSPs. So if I'm a GSP, I'll develop an application and give it to you. Your data will be pulled by the application and it will be pushed to the website. So GSPs will not do that, but GSPs will develop an application through which all the invoice details will be pushed. Invoices, if they are to be uploaded, invoices also can be uploaded. Returns to be filed, return filing may also GSP applications will help. one-stop solution for all GST related issues will be given by GSPs. They customize product that address the need of different segment of user. Now there is supposingly Tata uses Tally. For an example, Tata uses Tally. Now from Tally, there will be an application which will be required, which will pull all the data and push to the website. All those details will be done by whom? GSPs. GSPs, sometimes when they have to develop this application, they might go ahead and take help of ASPs, application service providers, application service provider who will develop the application. Basically, sometimes what happens, application service providers are also appointed. Generally, this GSP only, they are ITS companies and they can only develop the software and give it to the people. But sometimes they can go ahead and take help of application service providers also. GSPs may take help of application service providers who act as a link between taxpayer and GSP. So now when ASP is being appointed between the taxpayer and the GSP, who will be the link? ASPs will be the link. So taxpayers ka all data will be pulled by the ASP ka software and baba, then it will be pushed on to the website. Hence we can say that GSP has act as a link between taxpayer and GSTN portal. Baba, GSPs act as a link between the taxpayer and the common portal, and sir, ASPs will act as a link between taxpayer and GSPs. Who is the link between both of them? These two between, who is the link? ASP. I hope everyone is clear. So what happens? What is the concept of GSPs and ASPs? GST Subhidha providers. Government have appointed some ITS and financial technology companies. Baba, they will go ahead and create some software which will pull the data and push on to the website. So Baba, it will lead to ease of recording, ease of providing invoices ka detail, ease of uploading invoices if required, ease of filing returns, etc. Sir, sometimes GSPs can't develop an application and they can take the help of application service provider. Application service provider now will act as a link between GSP and taxpayer, and baba, GSPs act as a link between taxpayer and the common portal. I hope everyone is clear. Between the GSTN portal and ASPs act as a link between them. I hope everyone is clear. If you want, you guys can copy this also, and let's go ahead. So baba, you can pause and copy. Now we are done with one portion of it. Where we have gone ahead and learned all the basic things which are there. Baba, I am teaching still the basics to you. We are still learning the basics. Baba, it takes little time to absorb the basics. First two chapters are the most important basics which you will have to absorb very properly. Once first 1 to 3 third chapter tak you have absorbed everything, you are done baba. Most of the foundation is laid, then everything will be fast, it will get over, right everyone? Chalo, let's go ahead. Now GST laws, act and rules. So we are talking about, so whenever I tell you, if I tell you GST, can I go ahead everyone? Yes sir. Sir, if I go ahead and tell you GST law, baba, what do you mean by GST law and what do you mean by GST Act? So there is a difference. When I talk about laws, if I talk about law, law will include Act, GST Act, GST ka rules which are there, many notifications which are there, if there are any notifications which are issued. Baba, very important, you have to know all this thing. There are many circulars which are issued, circulars you have to know. Sir, might be there are advance ruling. Sir, any advance ruling which is given, that is also under GST only. Sir, there can be case laws also which are there. Sir, what are these different types of things? Everyone, let's go ahead and understand quickly. What is an act? Baba, what is the GST Act? GST Act always tells you, okay, 1 minute everyone. And Act and case laws. I'll write it here, case laws. So this is something which you should know. So Act is different and laws are different. So when I say GST laws, laws will include all of them. What are the various things? Number one, GST may, if you see there is Act, primarily it includes only Act, rules and notification and case laws. But I have included these two also because these are also part of GST only, right everyone? Let's understand. So I basically want you guys to understand the meaning of all these 6 terms because they will be required at many places, right? What is an act? People here, what is an act? Anuj, if I ask you what is an act, what is an act? Pawan, quickly tell me, what do you think is an act? It doesn't mean I am not asking others. Others, You guys are also sitting in front of me. I am able to see all of you, and you have to tell me what do you mean by an act. What is an act? An act always tells you what is to be done. Baba, act is developed by the government to collect money, right? So act will always tell you what is to be done. An act will always tell you what is to be done. Sir, what is to be done? An act always tells you what is to be done. For an example, the GST Act tells you have to take registration on crossing 20 lakh. Example, okay, you have to take registration on crossing 20 lakh. So, Baba, Act will always tell you what is to be done. Sir, I have to take registration on crossing 20 lakh. Who told? Act told. Act told that you have to go ahead and take registration. Then rules are there. Sir, what do you mean by rules? Rules means how it is to be done. I have to take registration. Rules will tell me how it is to be done. How it is to be done. Sir, what do you mean by how it is to be done? I have to take registration. Sir, how I have to take registration? Which is the form I have to fill? When do I have to take? Sir, Act told you what is to be done. Act told you have to take registration. Rules will tell you how it is to be taken. Sir, how many days it is going to be taking? What is the form you have to fill? What are the documents you have to provide? What will be the process? How it will happen basically, that will be told by the rules. Act is always what is to be done. Rules is always how it is to be done. Which is the form? What is the process? All will be told by the rules. Act tells you registration has to be taken. Section number 22, people are liable. Who is liable? Who told? Act told that you are liable. Now, rules will tell you, rule number 8, that you have to apply. You have to apply in REG 01. Rule number 9 will say, sir, verification will happen. Then he will ask you question. Rule number 10 will tell, sir, he will issue a registration certificate. So, the processes are told by the rules. Act will tell you what is to be done. Rule will tell you how it is to be done. Basically, the forms, the process, all those things will be told by the rules. I hope everyone is clear. Always the act will tell you what is to be done. Rules will tell you how it is to be done. Unless the act says something, rules can't go ahead and say anything. Means only if the act has told something, rules are always supportive of act. So whatever the act has told, in order to carry out everything, you will need a process. The process will be given by the rules. I hope everyone is clear. The next is notification. Baba, all of you know every year there is a budget which comes in February. So, Baba, Finance Act is there. Every year one Finance Act will be there. Every year one Finance Act will be there. So, this is Finance Act supposingly 2019. Sir, how does a bill become an act? First the bill is introduced. Budget ka bill which is there is introduced in the Lok Sabha. Then it goes to the Rajya Sabha. Then it goes to the President. Then he signs and it becomes an act. Baba, amendments came. Now, this came in 2019 February. For an example, it came in February. Now, from February, next year Finance Act will come in 2020. I know in between there was a Finance Act. Sometimes it comes. We will not discuss about it. I am telling one Finance Act to the next Finance Act. There is sometimes interim Finance Acts also which are there. Like Finance Act number 2 which was passed in 2019. However, we will not discuss that. What I am telling you understand here now. One Finance Act to another Finance Act, there is a gap of generally 1 year. Now, in that between one Finance Act to another Finance Act, generally there is a gap of 1 year. In between two Finance Act, if there is an amendment which has to come, if there is a change which has to be brought in, or any amendment which has to be brought in which is very urgent and which can't wait for the Finance Act, then Baba, it can be brought with the help of a notification. Notification basically means changes or amendments which can't wait for the next Finance Act. I hope everyone is clear. Amendments and notifications means amendments which can't wait for the next Finance Act, means it has to be done in the between the year. Basically, notifications are amendments, changes, etc. Generally, notifications are effective from date of issue in official gazette. Sir, official gazette. So, sir, whenever whenever one notification is issued, generally it is effective from the date of issue in the official gazette. However, sometimes they go ahead and tell in the notification that this notification will be effective from this date. They pass a notification, then they go ahead and say it will be effective from this date, but generally a notification from the date it is issued in the official gazette, it is effective. Sir, what do you mean by official gazette? Official gazette means the official magazine of the government of India, that is known as the official gazette, the official magazine basically. So in the official gazette, you can go to the website also of the official gazette. It is given as egadget.nic.in, egadget.nic.in. You can go website, you can just type on Google official gadget and you will be able to go to that website. Basically, whenever it is published there, it means the amendment is being notified by the government and it is effective. However, sometimes an amendment government goes ahead and says it will be effective from a date that will be notified by the government. I hope everyone is clear. Then what is a circular? What is a circular? Sir, what is a circular? 1 minute everyone, I'll do one thing, I'll push this little down so that you guys can copy it later. Right. So sir, the next one is, what is a circular? Baba, circulars, okay, what is an act? Act will always tell you what is to be done. Sir, what is to be done is told by the act. Sir, what do you mean by rules? Rules means how it is to be done. How something has to be done, what are the process, what are the forms, etc. is told by the rules. Sir, notification. Notifications are basically amendments or changes which are to be brought in between the year, basically between two finance act. Whenever one amendment has to be done, that is done by a notification. I hope everyone is clear. Sir, circular. What do you mean by circular? Circulars are clarificatory in nature. Basically, whenever CBIC sees that its own officers are in doubts. For an example, one officer is telling something, one officer is telling something, government will go ahead and issue a circular saying that this is the clarification. So, circulars are basically clarifications. Clarifications which are issued by the government. For an example, one person went ahead and took his painting from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu. Paintings from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu in order to display. He will display in a exhibition, take it back and come. So Baba, he is telling, sir, when I am taking my paintings from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, is it a supply or not? The officer is telling, Baba, because you have taken, it will be a supply. There can be doubts which the officer is doing. There can be wrong things which the officer is doing. So Baba, any doubt which is there, any clarification to be issued, government goes ahead and issues with the help of circular. This artist wala thing which I have told, you will not be able to understand now. Complete thing in the chapter of supply, I will talk about it. Don't worry. So what is circulars? Circulars is whenever CBIC, circular is whenever CBIC sees that there is Central Board of Indirect Tax and Custom. Who is the CBIC? CBIC is the board. The board means the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Custom. Whenever CBIC sees that its two officers are interpreting the law in a wrong manner or incorrectly, then Baba, just imagine officer went ahead and issued a notice. One officer is telling it should be taxable, one is telling it is not taxable, one officer is telling this has to be included in the value and GST has to be paid. So there are a lot of doubts which can be there. For all doubt solving, government goes ahead and issues a clarification. Baba, always remember, circulars and clarification which are issued by the CBIC, they are only binding on officers. They are not binding on the taxpayer. It is not binding on me. If I interpret otherwise, there is no problem at all. But what will happen if supposingly CBIC has given clarification, it is taxable, and I am interpreting, in my interpretation of the law, it is not taxable. So what will happen over here, when you are not following the CBIC ka circular which is given to the officer ko CBIC has given a circular issuing saying that it is taxable. Now, when you don't go ahead and consider it as taxable, this officer is bound to go ahead and issue you a demand order and say, sir, you have to treat it as taxable, you are not treating it correctly, but this circular is not binding on you. So, when the officer will issue you a demand order, your right is you can go for an appeal. You can go for an appeal saying that, sir, circulars are not binding on me. my interpretation of the law is this, and you can go for an appeal to the appellate authority, appellate tribunal, high court, supreme court, etc. So always remember, circulars are only binding on the officers, it is not binding on the taxpayer or the assessee. Sir, what do you mean by advance ruling? People, these are the chapters which will come. Advance ruling is a chapter which will come. I will just explain you the meaning so that when we are talking about it, see, the chapter will come in chapter number around 14 or 15. By that 15 chapter comes, I will be telling lot of time about these words. So you should know it. What is advance ruling? As you know, see the name, ruling taken in advance. For an example, I am going to sell this this bottle. Now government I don't know what is the rate of GST on this, or supposingly I have any clarification, I am thinking it is exempted and I don't know what is the rate of GST to be applied. So what I can do is I can go ahead and ask one authority. There is one authority which is known as advance ruling authority. There is one authority known as advance ruling authority, which has been set up by the law, which has been set up by the government, which has been set up under basically GST. Under GST there is something called an advance ruling authority. I can go apply to them and Baba ask them whatever question I have, and Baba they will give me the correct answer. Whatever answer they give, I can follow that answer. I hope everyone is clear. Always remember, supposingly I am a person, I am not able to decide whether the activity which I am going to be doing is taxable, not taxable, whether on this I am liable to pay GST, not liable to pay GST. I can go ahead and approach the advance ruling authority and they can give me a ruling in advance. Everyone, ruling in advance means they will give me an advance ruling saying, okay Ramesh, your activity which you are going to do is taxable. So they will take all the facts etc from me and give me a ruling. That is known as advance ruling. I hope everyone is clear. A ruling taken in advance, so that in future between me and the department there is no fight. If between me and the department there is any fight, I will show the department, see this, I have a ruling, don't tell it is taxable. I have already got a ruling which says it is not taxable, hence I am treating it as non-taxable. I hope everyone is clear. So advance ruling is whenever you have any clarification which is required, or you have any questions which are there. Baba, there are some specific question only which you can ask. If there are questions which you have, you can go ahead and ask the advance ruling authority and they will give you a ruling in advance which you can use, and based on that ruling you can go ahead and do your tax cut treatment. I hope everyone is clear. The last one is case laws. As of now, case laws have not started and they are not applicable for exam also. What is a case law? It's a decided case by the High Court or the Supreme Court, which you can go ahead and say, sir, my situation is same and I am referring to this case laws and accordingly I am doing a treatment. Listen everyone, advance ruling which is given, an advance ruling which is given can only be used by the taxpayer who has obtained it. So supposingly I have obtained an advance ruling relating to this bottle. Even if my neighbor is producing the same bottle, he has to take a separate advance ruling. Advance ruling is only binding on the taxpayer. It is not taxpayer and his officer, my jurisdictional officer. Both of us pay. The advance ruling which I have taken is binding. But advance ruling is not binding on any of my neighbor, anyone else. Someone else is telling, Ramesh, what happened in your bottle ka case? I told I got exempted. So Baba, he can't go ahead and apply the exemption. He has to check correctly and then go ahead. He can't say Ramesh ka advance ruling ka case mein this happened, so I applied this. No, advance ruling is only binding on me and the officer. I hope everyone is clear. But case laws which are given by the High Court and the Supreme Courts, case laws are basically rulings which are given by the High Court or the Supreme Court, and Baba, they become a law of land and they can be referred to by anyone. I hope everyone is clear. They can be referred to by anyone. Till here, what have I told? I have told what do you mean GST laws. When I'll say GST laws, may we have act. We have the CGST Act, SGST Act, IGST Act, UTGST Act. Act will always tell you what is to be done. Rules will always tell you how it is to be done. Circular notifications are basically amendments which are brought between the year. Amendments are brought by a notification which is issued by the government on the recommendation of council. I hope you guys know. Circulars are basically clarificatory in nature. Advance ruling are ruling taken in advance by a assessee or a taxpayer against the transaction which is undertaking or willing to undertake. Baba, if there is a person who is willing to undertake any transaction but he doesn't know what is the tax rate to be applied, whether it will be supply, not supply, etc., he can go ahead and ask the advance ruling authority. Baba, there are some questions only which he can ask relating to such some topics only. I will be discussing in detail later. So he can go ahead and take a ruling in advance. Once the advance ruling is given to him, it means now he can do according to the advance ruling, and if officer is questioning him, he can show the officer, hey, advance ruling has been taken, get lost. I hope everyone is clear. Case laws are basically given by the High Court, Supreme Courts, etc., and they become a law of land, can be applied by anyone. However, advance ruling can be applied by only the SSE who has undertaken it. I hope everyone is clear till here. Now, if you guys want, you can pause and copy. Let's go ahead with the next one. You can pause and copy. Let's go ahead. Now, GST laws, whenever I say, we have the CGST Act, IGST Act, SGST Act, UTGST Act. Sir, we have to study everything. Baba, relax, don't worry. Now, CGST Act, CGST is applicable, is levied under what? CGST Act, IGST under IGST Act, SGST under SGST Act, UTGST under UTGST Act. Sir, applicability, CGST is applicable on intrastate, IGST on interstate, sir, SGST on intrastate, sir, UTGST on intrastate, only IGST is applicable on interstate. I hope you guys already know this. Next, sir, how many CGST Act? One CGST. Sir, how many IGST? Only one IGST Act. Sir, how many SGST? 31 states are there. States with UT are also, UTs with legislature are also states. Sir, 31 SGST Act. Sir, how many UTGST Act? 1. Next. Sir, how many number of section? Here it is 1 to 74. You know what? CGST and SGST Act are exact replicas, and here also 1 to 74. So, whatever you are studying in the CGST Act is there in the SGST Act also. Next. Sir, additionally, here we have 25 section because it deals with interstate transaction. Baba, cross-border transactions are there. Place of supply ka sections are there. So, Baba, there are 25 sections which have been included more in this IGST Act. So, sir, 1 to 74, I will talk about it. In IGST Act, we have only 1 to section number 25. Let's go ahead. And then we have UTGST Act where 1 to 26 sections are there. Here there are 1 to 25 section, 174 and 1 to 26. How many definitions are there? 121 definitions. Sir, we have to learn section number 2 of any act gives about the definition. Section number 2 clause 1 says how many definitions are there? 121 definition. Section number 2 clause 1 to 25, here there are 25 definition, here 121, here 10 definitions. Okay, sir. Sir, which is the rule to be applied? CGST rules are there. CGST rules, IGST rules. Here state-wise rules will be there, like Karnataka will have Karnataka SGST rules, etc. But these are same as CGST rule except minor differences which you will be understanding in the due course. Next, how many rules? 162, 123, 162. Here it is not applicable. Sir, so many things you are telling. Listen to me. First of all, CGST and SGST are same, and for our exam purpose, they will not ask SGST. So no worries. I have cut all of them. You don't cut. It's okay. Let it be there. Sir, UTGST they will not be asking. So for our purpose, what is relevant is only CGST Act and IGST Act. For our exam purpose, they will be asking CGST Act and IGST Act only. So Baba, we have 175 sections here, 1 to 25 sections over here, which we'll have to learn. So we'll need CGST Act, CGST rules, IGST Act, IGST rules. Next, section number 164 is there. Section number 164, power to the government to make rules. See Baba, Act will tell you what is to be done. Act told that the government can go ahead and make rules. Now government can go ahead and make the rules. So rules can't be made by the government unless the act empowers. An act has empowered in section number 164. Let's go ahead and quickly read. The government may, on recommendation of the GST Council, by notification, make rules to carry out the provision of the act. To carry out the provision of the act, registration to be done. To carry out the registration, procedure has been laid in the rules. So Baba, section number 164 says rules can be made to carry out the provisions of the act. Without prejudice to any generality, the government may make rules for all or any of the matter which by this act are required to be or may be prescribed or in respect of which the provision are to be or may be made by the rules. Basically, rules can be, it says the government may make rules for any or all of the matter which by this act are required to be. Basically whatever act related things are there, act mein things are given, if rules are required, government can go ahead and make the rules. The power to make rules conferred by this section shall include the power to give retrospective effect. Baba, rules can be given retrospective effect, rules to the rules from a date not earlier than the date when the provision of this act came into force. So supposingly act only came on 1st of July, you can't go ahead and say rules is effective from 1st of January. Are we clear, everyone? Baba, not before the provision of the act has come into force. Act came into force on 1st of January 2019. You can't go ahead and make a rule which is applicable to that act in 2018. Baba, act only came in 2019. You can make rules relating to that act on from 1st January 2019 only. I hope everyone is clear. If act is effective from here, you are making a rule relating to this act, it can be made retrospectively effective from here only. You can't say rules is effective from here. No, not possible. The rules made in under section 1 or 2 may provide that a contravention thereof shall be penalty not exceeding 10,000. So Baba, contravention of rules can lead to a penalty of 10,000. Baba, very important, one small question can be asked. Number 1, can rules be given retrospective effect? Yes sir, but not earlier than the act. And sir, second is rules can attract a penalty. I have written all of them. Penalty if you don't follow the rules, penalty up to 10,000. Next, sir, section number 22. You remember only section number 1 to 25 is there. Only section number 1 to 25 is there in IGST Act. Sir, what about the other sections of the CGST Act? In case of interstate, all the other sections. See, section number 1 to 74. 174 is also is there in IGST Act, but they didn't go ahead and write it again. They didn't go ahead and write it again. What they wrote in section number 22 of the IGST Act. Okay, not 22, actually it is in the next page. Okay, I'll discuss about it. Section number 20 actually. What is section number 22? Like how we have section number 164, everyone here, like how we have section number 164 in the CGST Act, which gives government to make rules relating to CGST Act. Sir, CGST rules can be made under section number 164 for the CGST Act. IGST rules for the IGST Act can be made under section number 22. I hope everyone is clear. For the IGST Act, the rules can be made under section number 22 of the IGST Act. I hope everyone is clear. There are some author's note which I have given. All the provision of the Act and rules under CGST and SGST are same. Sir, CGST and SGST are same. Rules में minor differences are there some places. IGST Act has very few sections. IGST has only 1 to 25 section since it has borrowed all the provision from CGST. Section number 20 of IGST Act, application of provision of CGST Act. What happened in section number 1 to 25? IGST has section number 1 to 25. In section number 20, what it has told, subject to the provision of this act and rules made therein, the provision of CGST Act relating to all of them, that is till section number 174, subject to the provision of this act and rules they made thereunder, the provision of CGST Act shall mutatis mutandis, same as above, apply so far as they may be in relation to integrated tax as they apply to central tax. So all the sections which are in the CGST Act, they didn't go ahead and write again in the IGST Act. In the IGST Act, section number 20, they wrote section number 1 to 70. All the sections of the CGST Act are applicable mutatis mutandis to IGST Act also. So in section number 20, rather than going ahead and writing all the sections again, they told we are borrowing the section from the CGST Act. I hope everyone is clear. Let's go ahead. As per rule number 2 of the CGST rules, all as of the IGST rule, all the CGST rules shall be used for carrying out the provision of the IGST Act. I hope everyone is clear. So Baba, all the, sir, how many rules are there in IGST? You will see only 3 rules. Why you know 3 rules? Because as per rule number 2, all the CGST rules are applicable to IGST also. I hope everyone is clear. So 1 to 25 sections. Or why only 1 to 25? Because all the other sections are borrowed by using the power under section number 20. Sir, why only 3 rules? 1, 2, 3. Sir, the second rule which is there is telling CGST ka all rules are applicable to the IGST also. So, as per rule number 2, all the CGST rules shall be used for carrying out the provision of the under the IGST Act also. I hope everyone is clear. Administration under GST, Baba, administration is done by the commissioners, etc. There are some definitions which are given. Okay, what do you mean by commissioner? Commissioner means the commissioner of central tax, include the principal commissioner, not very important. We'll be reading it whenever we require it in the due course of time, whenever relating to one chapter we need. See, I'll not be teaching you definitions. Section number 2 talks about definitions. So generally at the beginning only we used to do it earlier, but now slowly what I have started is we have gone ahead and put all the definitions which are relating to one chapter in that chapter. So whatever definition relating to a chapter we will be dealing in that chapter. So when these definitions will be required, we'll talk about it, not very important. Whenever you see board, whenever you see the board means the CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom. CBIC, earlier known as the CBC. So if you see anywhere CBC, you have to remember that now it is known as CBIC. It's the administrative body responsible for administration of GST. I know it is little theoretical, but only chapter number 1 is little theoretical. Baba, chapter number 2 on, we will be going and there will be lot of interesting things to learn. Here also it is interesting, but little theory is more. CBIC will also administer the work related to levy and collection of excise duty on petroleum product, tobacco and also other custom duty. Okay, sir. Section number 168. Section number 168 gives the government, Baba, government can go ahead and issue notifications, circulars, etc. Right? When government goes ahead and issues circulars, who gave the power to the government? Is the act allowing the government to go ahead and issue circular? Yes, sir. Government can issue circular by using section number 168 ka power. So whenever you see one circular has come, no, you will see by using the power conferred to the government under section number 168 of the CGST, government hereby goes ahead and clarifies. So it will be written in a circular. The board may, if it considers necessary or expedient to do so, for the purpose of uniformity in the implementation of law. Basically, one officer is interpreting differently, one officer is interpreting differently, in order to get uniformity, so that all the officers, Baba, CBIC ka kids are officers who are basically helping CBIC in regulating GST properly. So Baba, so that all the officers behave in the same manner, CBIC will go ahead and issue them direction, hey, do like this. So Baba, that direction is issued under section number 168. It says, for the purpose of bringing uniformity in the implementation of GST Act, issue the board, if it is necessary or expedient, if it is necessary to do so, then what it will do, issue orders, hey, do like this, order, instruction, it will instruct that you should do like this, or it will issue direction, this way you should go, to the central tax officer as it may deem fit. I will be talking only about CGST Act. Wherever I am not talking, wherever I say section number 22, I mean CGST Act. If I say section number 7, I mean CGST Act. If I say section number 7 of IGST Act, means I mean IGST Act. Always remember one thing, whenever I am talking section, I am talking which section? CGST Act ka section. And if I go ahead and specifically say of the IGST Act, it means IGST Act. Sir, SGST section you will not talk, UTGST you will not talk. No, Baba. Exam applicability is CGST and IGST only. SGST is same to same, duplicate, right everyone? Let's go ahead. So it will issue order, instruction, direction to central tax officer as may deem fit, and thereupon all such officers and all other person employed in the implementation of this act shall observe. Shall means shall, whenever it is used, shall means mandatory, may means voluntary. I hope everyone is clear. Wherever you see may means voluntary in nature, it is not compulsory. But whenever you see shall means it is mandatory in nature. Mandatory. I hope everyone is clear. These two are also interpretations which you will be needing when you will be reading the law. May means it is not, it may. Shall means mandatorily observe and follow such order, instructions or directions. I hope everyone is clear. OID. So Baba, power to issue OID. O means order, instruction and direction. Let's go ahead. So Baba, I have written it down here. So whenever there is any ambiguity, the CBIC will go ahead and issue circular. Whenever the CBIC observes there is any ambiguity relating to a matter and there is a difference in opinion between the officers, the CBIC may issue order circulars in order to ensure uniformity in the implementation of GST provisions. This power has been given to the board. Board means CBIC via section number 168. Sir, CBIC circulars are binding only on the central tax officer. They are binding only on their officers. And in case of any dispute, the taxpayer is free to appeal against any order of the CGST officer to the appellate authority, then the appellate tribunal, then the High Court, then the Supreme Court. I hope everyone is clear. Let's go ahead. Next. Section number 3 talks about the various officer. Baba, not important for your exam also. Who are the various officer? First it is principal chief commissioner, then it is chief commissioner, then sir it is principal commissioner, then it is commissioner, then additional commissioner, then joint commissioner, then deputy commissioner, then assistant commissioner, then any other class. Actually it is principal chief commissioner or principal director general. So Baba, like this you have lot of officers who are there. Okay, this is basically the hierarchy. You guys can read at home, not very important. Sir, who will appoint the officer? The board. The board may appoint the officer. Who is the board? The board. The board means the CBIC. Let's go ahead. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. So it says without prejudice, the board may by order authorize an officer in this A to H. Can you guys see A to H? To appoint other central tax officer below the rank. So Baba, if the board wants, board can appoint an officer and board can go ahead and say below your rank officers you guys can go ahead and appoint. So it says the board may by order authorize any officer referred to in A to H to appoint central tax officer below the rank of assistant commissioner of central tax for administrative. Below the rank of assistant commissioner means any other class, superintendent etc. Superintendent etc. can be appointed by the officer, assistant commissioner and above them, right? Sir, power of the officer. What is the power of the officer? This is something which you should know. Let's read it. Sir, subject to the condition. I will read the author's comment. Author's comments wherever I have written, that is enough for you to read. Central tax officer to exercise power and duties given by the act. Sir, if I am an officer, I should do only those duties and I should exercise only those powers which are given to me by the act. People here, students are telling, sir, it is so theoretical chapter. Baba, it is theoretical, but sir has gone ahead and written wherever authors comment, you should read those authors' notes. It is enough for your exam. So what is section number 5 telling? Section number 5 gives the power to the officer and it says central tax officers must exercise only those powers which are given by the act. Central tax officer may exercise the power and discharge duties of its subordinates. So if I am an officer, my junior who is there, his duties can I go ahead and do? Yes, Baba. Supposingly my junior has not come today. Can I go ahead and perform his duties? There is an urgent order to be given. Can I go ahead and pass? Yes, Baba. If I am an officer, below ranking ka officer ka duties I can perform. Even commissioner can delegate his power to subordinate. Supposing there is a subordinate, can he go ahead and exercise the power? No. Commissioner has to delegate his power to the subordinate. Only then they can go ahead and perform those duties. Even commissioner can delegate. I will delegate to my junior, only then they will do. But junior ka work can I do? Supposing there is a person working in my office. Everyone here. There is a person who is working in my office. Sir, if I am not there, if he is not there, I can go ahead and do his work. Supposingly one person is having a system issue. He called me, sir, I have an issue. I can go ahead and do his work. But one day I am not well. So he is telling, sir, I went ahead and did your duty. He can't go ahead and do my work unless I go ahead and delegate him. I hope everyone is clear. So even commissioner can delegate his power to subordinate officer, but subject to some condition and limitation. Not everything can be granted. There are some limitations which are there. Appellate authority. See, Baba. After this, officers who are there, no? Officers gets over, then Baba, first appeal goes to appellate authority, then it goes to appellate tribunal, then it goes to High Court, then it goes to Supreme Court. I hope everyone is clear. This is how appeal goes. And it says appellate authority, even though, see, everyone here, officers are there. Officers ka if order is passed, a person can go to appellate authority, then he can go to appellate tribunal, then if he wants even higher authority, he can go to high court, and if he wants even higher, then he can go to Supreme Court. I hope everyone is clear. Now this officers may, if there is a commissioner, Baba, he can go ahead and exercise the power of his subordinates who are there, other junior officers who are there, whose subordinates. Okay. So he can exercise their power. They can also exercise subject to the condition that he is delegated. He is delegated, right everyone? Now officers ka power can appellate authority. Baba, appellate authority is also officers only. They are not judges who are sitting. They are only officers, but they are known as what? Appellate authority. So can appellate authority go ahead and exercise the power of officers? No, Baba. This appeal, when they start, no, appeal is totally a different chain altogether. It says appellate authority cannot exercise the power and discharge the duties of a central tax officer. If any officer has done anything wrong, they can't. If officer has not come, appellate authority which is there, Baba, appellate authorities also sit in the department only. So, but their name is appellate authority. So basically, you are going for an appeal. It is like commissioner appeals, right? So the commissioner is sitting in the department only, but commissioner can't go ahead and exercise the duties or powers of a central tax officer. They are completely different. I hope everyone is clear. Then Baba, very very important, which you should know, is authorization of officer or state tax officer or union territory tax or proper officers in certain circumstances. Baba, basically they are talking about a concept of cross empowerment. Very very important. It will be required everywhere. Please listen carefully everyone. It says the officer appointed under the SGST Act or UTGST Act are authorized to be POs for the purpose of CGST Act, subject to the condition as the government shall on recommendation of council by notification specify. Government, so officer who are under the SGST Act, they can go ahead and issue an order. So supposingly everyone here, I have to raise a demand order. Everyone here, I have to go ahead and raise a demand order on Ram. Okay, everyone here, there is Ram. Ram had to pay 14% GST, CGST 14%, CGST 14%, SGST. He had to pay 14%. What he did? No, clever fellow. He went ahead and paid only 6%. Actually paid how much? 6%, 6%. So Baba, he has paid short 8% and 8%. Now Baba, for demanding the 8%, the CGST officer will go ahead and raise a demand. Now the CGST officer is also empowered, then he can go ahead and raise the demand not only for the CGST amount, for the SGST, not only for the SGST amount, but for the CGST amount also. I hope everyone is clear. So if I am a office, just imagine I am a person who has not paid the tax correctly. I have one CGST officer who is correct coming and harassing. I have one SGST officer also who is coming and harassing. I am under this SGST officer, no. So government is telling, if you are under this SGST officer, he will only raise a demand order on you relating to SGST amount also, relating to CGST amount also. So if I am under a CGST commissioner, that CGST commissioner will raise a demand on me for CGST also and SGST also. There will be no two officers dealing with the same person at the same time. I hope everyone is clear. So cross empowerment means SGST officers have been cross empowered to go ahead and perform the duties of CGST officers also. What is it telling? I will read out now for you. Everyone listen. See, just imagine I am a person who has paid tax wrongly. Now CGST officers also came to my office. They went, I spoke to them. They went. After some time, CGST officers came, then SGST officers came. I am being harassed. So government is telling one person should be harassed only by one category of officers. I hope everyone is clear. It says the officer appointed under the CGST Act or UTGST Act are authorized to be POs for the purpose of CGST Act. So they can only be the PO, means proper officers, subject to the condition as the government shall on the recommendation of council by notification specify. Subject to the condition specified in the notification, Baba, whatever notification is issued here. Where any PO issues an order under CGST Act, he shall issue an order under SGST Act also. So if I am an officer under CGST, when I am issuing an order, I can issue under SGST Act also, as authorized by the SGST Act or UTGST Act, as the case may be, under the intimation to the jurisdictional officer of state tax or union territory tax. So Baba, when I am going ahead and issuing a demand order, I am a CGST officer. For the SGST also, I will go ahead and issue. So it says, when a PO under CGST, he shall also issue an order under SGST Act as authorized by the SGST or UTGST Act, as the case may be, under the intimation to the jurisdictional officer. But when I am going, see, what will I do? I will go ahead, see, there is, supposingly, who is there? There is Maria. Maria is there. Maria has gone ahead and paid CGST also less, SGST also less. Maria is under me. I am a CGST officer. I will go ahead and issue a order to her. Baba, for CGST amount, for SGST amount also, I will only issue an order and I will intimate the jurisdictional, whoever is her jurisdictional officer, I will intimate him that, sir, I have gone ahead and issued an order. You please don't go ahead and again issue an order. So an intimation can be issued. I hope everyone is clear. Where a PO under SGST Act. So if supposingly there is Kumar, there is Kumar, where a PO under the Kumar here, where a PO under the SGST or UTGST has initiated proceeding on a subject matter. Baba, I have initiated proceedings against him. I have started sending him show cause notice. No proceeding shall be initiated by proper officer under CGST on the same matter. So Baba, I have started harassing him. I have already started issuing him notices, etc. I am the CGST officer. Now SGST officer, now CGST officer will not go ahead and harass him again. I hope everyone is clear. It means one party ke liye only one person should go ahead and catch him. Next, any proceeding for rectification, appeal or revision wherever applicable of any order passed by an officer under CGST Act shall not lie before an officer appointed under SGST Act. So Baba, if supposingly one order has been passed against me, one CGST officer has passed an order against me, appeal ka way also have to go the CGST route. I hope everyone is clear. Any proceedings for rectification, appeal or revision wherever applicable, if a person wants to go for rectification, some mistakes are there, person wants to go for an appeal of an order passed by the officer under CGST officer has passed an order, he has to go to for an appeal also to a CGST officer only. He can't go for an appeal to SGST officer. I hope everyone is clear. Shall not lie. Proceeding shall not lie before any other officer appointed under SGST Act or UTGST Act. So if a CGST officer has passed an order on me, I have to go to the appeal way, appeal to the CGST officer only. I can't go for an appeal to SGST officer. So for an order which is passed by CGST officer, appeal also lies before the CGST appeals etc. route. Sir, author's comment, I have written, officer appointed under SGST or UTGST authorized to act as CGST officers under CGST also. If PO under CGST Act issues an order, he shall also issue an order under SGST or UTGST and intimate the SGST or UTGST officer so that they don't again start initiating. If PO under SGST initiated a proceeding on a matter, no proceeding shall be initiated by CGST officers again. If any order passed by a PO under CGST officer under CGST, you can cut this, then rectification, appeal or revision shall not lie with the officer under SGST. If so I'll have to go to a CGST officer only for any rectification, appeals etc. I hope everyone is clear. So what happens generally, whenever one officer is issuing me an order under and he is a SGST officer, he will issue me an order and then CGST officer will not issue, he will go ahead and intimate him, or if CGST officer is issuing me an order, then Baba he will intimate the SGST officer and SGST officer again will not issue me an order. It means if SGST officer is issuing me an order under SGST Act, he will also issue me an order for the CGST amount also. I hope everyone is clear. That is the section number 6 talking about, which is the concept of cross empowerment officers are cross empowered. CGST officers can undertake the functions of SGST officer. SGST officer can go ahead and undertake some functions of the CGST officer. Here we are done with chapter number 1. Congratulations everyone, we are done with chapter number 1. Now 1 minute, I'll open some question answers. I want to do some question answers so that you guys can see that you are done with question answers also, right? Let's do some question answers. 1 minute. Right everyone, chalo, here now. GST introduction overview, everyone over here. GST introduction overview and administration questions which are there, which are your CBIC FAQs, IDTC FAQs, mock test paper, RTPs, ICI का स्टडी मटेरियल, CS का स्टडी मटेरियल, CMA का स्टडी मटेरियल, CA का एग्जाम क्वेश्चन पेपर, CS का एग्जाम क्वेश्चन, CMA का एग्जाम क्वेश्चन पेपर, all I have incorporated in the Q&A material. Everyone here. What is goods and service tax? Sir, we already know goods and service tax. Article number 366 went ahead and told any tax on supply of goods or service except alcoholic liquor. You guys already know this. Sir, what are the features? GST is a tax, tax on supply, indirect tax, consumption based, value added tax, and GST is a destination based tax. I hope everyone is clear. GST in consumption. GST is a consumption of products from the business sources and not on personal or hobby activities. Actually, GST is a tax on consumption of products from business sources, is a tax on consumption of products from business sources. Actually, the 7th point is there. You can delete it. In your Q&A material which you will be receiving, this point will be deleted. I'll delete it. Right everyone? 7th point can be deleted. Total bakwas. Leave it. That point which is written, I'll be discussing in the chapter of supply. You will understand. It is not required. For exam, if they ask you by chance what is GST, hardly they will ask. IPC level question. Right everyone? Now, sir, what are the taxes which are subsumed into GST? I hope you guys already know taxes which are subsumed, taxes which are not subsumed, taxes with central tax, state tax, and taxes which are not subsumed. I hope everyone knows that already. We have already covered it. Sir, what are the principle adopted for subsuming the above taxes? Why were all the above taxes only subsumed? Because they were basically indirect taxes. So only indirect taxes mainly were subsumed. These were the taxes which had to be subsumed in order to make free flow of credit, right everyone? So basically these taxes were being subsumed. Please read at home, not very important, but you can read at home once. What are the benefits of the country that will accrue? I have already told you about the benefits. We have already discussed what are the benefits that can happen because of GST. What are the commodities that have been kept out of GST? I have already told you there are 2 commodities. Everyone, what are the 2 commodities? Sir, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, and sir, HP man. I'm just showing you how after covering the textbook you will be able to do all the questions which are there. Right. The next, what is the status of tobacco? Sir, tobacco. Everyone here, people tell me, Shreyas, Ashok, here, what are the taxes which are there on tobacco? Quickly tell me. Sir, central excise duty and GST is also there. I hope you guys remember. What type of GST is proposed? Sir, people, what type of GST is proposed? Dual model is proposed. Sir, why is dual model required? Because center will collect CGST, state will collect SGST. So India mein dual model is required. Which authority will levy and administrate a GST? Sir, center will levy CGST and IGST, states will levy SGST. So state will go ahead and administer SGSTs. How a particular transaction of goods and service would be taxed simultaneously under CGST and SGST? I have already explained you. Whenever a transaction is happening, central government will charge CGST, state government will charge SGST, 50-50. All those things with the help of examples have been given. I request all of you to please read all of them. See, I am not going in details and discussing because all these discussions we have done in the chapter itself, right? So I am not going again and again. See, most of the points which I am telling in the class are your Q&A material ka points. All the questions in your Q&A material only I go ahead and talk about that only in the class. Are we clear everyone? Whatever I discuss in the class, no, that is also taken out of your Q&A material only. So most of the things out of your Q&A I cover, but I want you guys to go ahead and read and also practice. Baba, always remember one thing. A cricket bat given to Virat Kohli told everything about him, but he never practiced with that cricket bat, do you think he will hit a sixer directly in the field? Not possible ever. Baba, to hit a sixer every day morning or every day evening, he practices with that bat. Baba, your bat is your pen. Students, what they do, whole life they only see the pen, first time they use it in the exam hall. How will your hand move? Your hand will never move. So always remember one thing, question answers you only have to practice, only you have to practice, right everyone? Next. Sir, what is IGST? IGST, CGST and SGST integrated together. IGST is charge on interstate supply. Sir, how will imports be taxed? Sir, imports are interstate. IGST will be leviable. I hope everyone is clear. Sir, write a note on various lists. Sir, list number 1, list number 2, list number 3. We have already learned. Sir, how will exports be treated? Sir, exports are interstate and IGST. I hope everyone is clear. But you can claim a refund of the IGST paid. Why, sir? Because the destination is outside India. In case of export, the destination is outside India, and hence whatever taxes you pay, you will get a refund. Whatever taxes you have paid on those goods, you will get a refund because the destination is outside India. Indian government will not have any power to levy tax on exports. I hope everyone is clear. We will discuss in detail about exports in the chapter number 3, nature of supply, right everyone? What is the rationale behind GST cess? I have already told you, some states were against GST, so Baba government went ahead and levied GST compensation cess. It collected cess. Whoever was crying, take. I hope everyone is clear with that. Sir, please explain. It was a CS professional ka exam में 2 marks and 3 marks का question where they are asking consumption based tax and IGST के लिए features. CS का students, they ask you question out of chapter number 1. CA ka students, they definitely ask you a 3 marks question, and CMA ka students, yes sir, they also ask you CMA final December 16, 7 marks. There was a question. Enumerate and explain the advantages. Baba, advantages you guys already know, but still I have gone ahead and written. See Baba, V3, CA, CS, CMI, all the 3 are together, right everyone? So all the 3 fields which are there has to study each other ka questions in order to broaden your thinking capacity. So I have included all the questions relating to CA, CS, CMA this time, right everyone? Next. Why was the constitution amended? I have already told you, constitution had to be amended. 122nd constitution amendment bill was introduced in order to incorporate GST. Only once the constitution gives the power, you can go ahead and levy GST on goods and service. I hope you guys already remember this. To include article number 246A, etc. Sir, GST council, who will decide rate of GST? Sir, GST council will go ahead and decide. We have already learned what was the role of GST council. I have already told you. The GST council stands as the backbone. What is the role? Again one question. Sir, again one question came in CA final November 19. Sir, what are the 5 matters on which GST council can make recommendation? I hope everyone is clear. Do you guys remember? They can go ahead and make recommendation on the taxes to be levied, the taxes to be subsumed. Sir, the goods which are to be exempted, the goods which are to be taxed, the rate of GST applicable, the threshold limit, special provision relating to some states. Sir, during natural calamity, if additional fund is to be raised, that will also be allowed by GST council. Sir, the rates on various goods, all these things will be told by the GST council. Sir, what is the guiding principle? Please read this, not very important. How will decision be taken by GST council? I have explained this very well. On the basis of votes, right everyone? List of special category states, humans of Tripura and Jammu and Kashmir. I hope everyone is clear with this. Enumerate 5 matters on which GST council can make recommendation. Okay, so I will go ahead and do one thing. Question number 25 which is there. When you receive your Q&A material, Baba, it's still in the process of making, because okay, might be people who are seeing this class later will see that they already have the Q&A material. Now when I'm recording this lecture, I'm still in the process of editing the Q&A material, because there are a lot of questions which I've taken from CA, CS, CMA, and what I am trying to do is this time I have made all heading wise. So GST council related question, constitutional provision related question, all I have gone ahead and bifurcated relating to each topic. So what will happen this time when the Q&A will come, you will see every questions are bifurcated topics. So if you are studying one topic and you want to study questions relating to that topic, you can directly go to that topic and you can solve the questions in the Q&A. I hope everyone is clear. So GST related, council related questions, I have put all of them. This question, when it comes out as a printed material, Baba, because it is already here, I have already put it here, I will go ahead and remove it. This will be removed. So people, when you receive this material as a printed material, you will see question number 25 has been deleted. Sir, GSTN, what is GSTN and its role in the GST regime? I have already told you GSTN portal is a common portal. What are the functions of the common portal? I have already explained this. Sir, state the functions. Again, they have gone ahead and asked about the functions. I hope everyone is clear. Please read all of them. This is CMA final ka question and this was CA inter mock test paper mein they are asked. Okay, sir. Administration under GST, I have told you section number 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. For them, the questions I have given from CBIC FAQs and one MTP ka question is there. It says, let's read this mock test paper. MTP means mock test paper. Let's read this question. Sir, you're doing so fast. Baba, I am doing it because I want to show you guys that most of the questions of your textbook I go ahead and cover when I'm teaching in the class and I don't leave anything. And you at home, your responsibility is to practice. Going to second, third, fourth chapter, we will be doing problems in the class. These are theoretical questions which don't need problem solvings, right everyone? Let's go ahead. Home furniture registered under GST has served a demand order under GST by CGST officer. The home furnishers needs to approach both CGST and SGST appellate authorities for exercising its right. It says, now you tell me one thing. Demand order is given by whom? Central GST officer. He will go for appeal to central GST officer or state GST. Sir, he has to go to the central GST officers only. GST law makes provision for cross empowerment between CGST and SGST officer so as to ensure that if officer of one act passes an order with respect to a transaction, he will only be the proper officer of SGST for the same transaction and issue the order with respect to SGST as well as CGST component of the same transaction. I hope everyone is clear. So if I am issuing an order for SGST, I should go ahead and I am only the CGST officer and I will only go ahead and issue the order with relating to CGST amount. The law further provides that when proper officer under one act has passed an order, an appeal, review, revision against the said order will lie only with the proper officer of that act only. So if order is passed by the CGST officer, for appeal also you have to go to the CGST officer only. Similarly, if an order is passed by the proper officer of SGST, appeal or review, revision shall lie with the proper officer of SGST. You have to go for an appeal to an SGST officer only if SGST officer has passed an order. Thus, home furnishers is required to file an appeal with the Central Tax Appellate Authority, section number 6, which we have just now discussed. Cross empowerment, very, very important. Then I have gone ahead and put some MCQs. I want you guys to go ahead and practice all of them, right everyone? Please practice the MCQs. At the end of each chapter, you will see all the MCQs have been put along with the various answers. So all the answers for all the chapters I put along with MCQs at the end, right everyone? People watching, if you have not received your book till now, you will be able to access the Q&A material in your ebooks, right everyone? And I request all of you to go ahead and download the Ramesh Soni Classes app. Ramesh Soni Classes app, sir, why is it important? Because in that app I'll be uploading, I'll be providing details. So sir, this class has got over, you guys can download many notifications you will be receiving, which I will be telling personally that sir, today's class has been updated, you guys can download it. Any changes I have to tell you, anything I have to inform you, I'll be informing you through the app, right everyone? So students who have enrolled for the class, please download Ramesh Soni Classes app. Baba, we'll be having quiz also in the app, and when I will be coming live on Sunday to discuss the paper which I'll give you on Saturday. So Saturday will be a test paper which I'll be uploading. Sunday you will be solving it. Sunday 1 to 2 o'clock I'll be live on the app and we'll be discussing about various queries which you guys have, various things which you have. If you have any problems which you are facing during the class, all the things we'll be discussing on Sunday in the live batch, right everyone? Chalo. Now we are done with chapter number 1. We are done with chapter number 1. I would like to go ahead and quickly revise chapter number 1, right everyone? We started learning with tax. Sir, what is tax? Tax, everyone with me, people with me. 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and quickly revise chapter number 1. 3 days in 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and quickly revise. The next class I will show you the chart also and show you how it is done in the chart, the whole chapter in one chart, right? Next class we'll be doing that. Today let's go ahead and revise. Sir, what is tax? Tax is a compulsory financial charge which is imposed upon a taxpayer. It is under a law or an act and it is to finance the various public expenditures. Sir, then we learn difference between direct tax, indirect tax. Sir, direct tax is directly imposed on a person and incidents can't be shifted. Indirect tax imposed on one person but he can shift the incident. Direct tax is income tax, indirect tax, GST and custom. Sir, direct tax is progressive, indirect tax is regressive. Then sir, GST means any tax on supply of goods, services or both except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. People, you have to talk with me. Next, why was GST introduced? Sir, GST was basically introduced because of the cascading effect, double taxation problems which are there. Sir, various features of GST. GST is a tax. It's a tax on supply of goods, services or both. Sir, it's a consumption based tax. Sir, it's a destination based tax. Sir, it's a value added tax. Value added tax model has been adopted in GST. Sir, then we went ahead and learned pre and post GST scenario. Post GST goods and service, whenever it is supplied by a taxable person, GST shall be levied and it will be levied both by the central government and state government 50-50. Dual model has been adopted by India, CGST by central government, SGST by state government. Sir, nature of GST, intrastate, interstate. Intrastate means CGST, SGST or CGST and UTGST. Interstate means different state, different UT, one state, one UT and different country. IGST shall be levied. Intrastate was CGST, SGST. Intrastate within the same state, within the same UT. CGST, SGST, CGST, UTGST. Sir, India was divided into 28 states and 9 union territories. Out of that, 3 union territories which are there have become states because they are with legislation, and 31 states and 6 UTs only. Sir, in the states we levy CGST, SGST. In UTs we levy what? As CGST and SGST, and in the UTs we levy CGST and UTGST. Right, everyone? Next, sir, we understood this various types of transaction where we went ahead and learned intrastate and interstate. May IGST should be used for IGST, IGST should be used for CGST or SGST in any order, any manner. Sir, then we went ahead and learned, sir, CGST should be used for CGST, then CGST should be used for IGST, then sir, SGST should be used for SGST, SGST should be used for IGST. C to S is not possible, S to C is not possible. If you have to pay IGST, first use CGST, then use SGST. Then we learned about the various taxes which are subsumed, but state taxes which are subsumed, taxes which are not subsumed, and Baba, then we learned about the various taxes on goods and service. Sir, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, state excise duty, VAT or CST on sale. Sir, HP man, high speed diesel, petroleum crude, motor spirit, aviation turbine fuel and natural gas, central excise duty and VAT or CST on sale. Sir, tobacco products, central excise duty and GST. Sir, all other goods, GST only. Sir, benefits of GST, creation of a unified national market, mitigation of ill effects of cascading, multiple taxes are gone, double taxation is gone. Sir, benefits to consumer in form of reduction in cost. Sir, boost to Make in India, increase in government initiative, lower compliance cost. Next, sir, Genesis, I have gone ahead and told you in 1954 France had implemented, then 2004 Calcutta Task Force went ahead and told that we should also get fully integrated GST, and Baba, then GST became a reality on 1/7/2017, and Baba, Jammu and Kashmir mein it was applied from 8th of July 2017. Then we learned about the various constitutional provision. The first constitutional provision, Article 265, is told no tax should be levied or collected without the authority of law. Article 245 is gave Parliament the power to go ahead and levy tax for whole of India, to make law for all of India, state legislature for the state. Sir, then article number 246 ka 7th schedule divided the power union list 1, union list 2 and union list 3. Then article 254 told Parliament ka law will be supreme over state if there is any conflict. And then we went ahead and learned article number 246A, which told about GST. Baba, Parliament will make law for the GST to be implemented by union, and Baba, state legislature for the state. Parliament will have exclusive power to go ahead and levy GST when it is interstate transaction. Baba, on HP man, GST will be levied from a date notified by government on recommendation of council. Sir, then we learned article 269A, which went ahead and told IGST will be levied by central government and it will be apportioned between center and state equally. Then Baba, we had an explanation which told imports means interstate. Then Baba, Parliament will go ahead and make place of supply. Formulate principles for determining place of supply, because we always see location of supplier and place of supply, right everyone? Article number 286 went ahead and told, restricting that any state which is there cannot go ahead and levy GST on no state to impose GST on supply of goods and service when it takes place outside the state or outside the country. Import or export may, states will have no power. Sir, 270 told about cess. I went ahead and told you under GST no cess can be levied, but levy of GST compensation cess is constitutionally permitted under section number 18 of Constitutional Amendment Act 2016. We learned about GST compensation cess. Whenever, because of coming of GST, if any state is having loss, government told we will collect GST compensation cess on luxury and sin item, and then whichever state is crying, we'll go ahead and give it to them. Then we learned about article number 279A, which told about GST council. GST council has 33 members, 2 from union, 31 from state. Out of the members which are there, everyone with me, sir, people, are you able to recall everything? Yes sir. Sir, out of the members which are there, votes of the center will have 33.33% weight, and Baba states will have 66.67% weight. Sir, both put together at least 75% majority should be achieved. Sir, how will the votes be how will the votes be counted? Sir, it will be on the basis of members present and voting. Basically, we will have to see members present and voting, at least 75% for majority to be achieved. Sir, how much is quorum? 50%. Right everyone? Then we have the GST common portal, right sir? GST common portal, sir, it's a one-stop solution, gst.gov.in for registration, payment and return. Then what do we have? Then we have e-way bill, gst.gov.in, which is basically for e-way bill filing. Then we have GSPs and ASPs. Sir, we have GSP. There we learned in the above part also about special category states, humans of Tripura and Jammu and Kashmir. And sir, then the last one is GSPs and ASPs. GSPs serve as a link between the taxpayer and the GST portal. ASPs serve as a link between GSPs and the taxpayer. I hope everyone is clear. Sir, then we learned about laws. CGST and IGST is applicable. CGST section number 1 to 174. IGST section number 1 to 25. Section number 64 gives the government to make 164 gives the government to make rules, and section number 22 of the IGST Act gives the government to make rules relating to IGST. Under administration, we had CBIC, which is the mother body. Then we have government has the power under section number 168 to issue circular to its officers. Then we learned section number 3, which told about officers. Section number 4, which told about appointment of officer. Basically, officer who is rank of assistant commissioner can go ahead and appoint the officer below him, basically superintendent, etc. Sir, cross empowerment. CGST officer can become SGST officer when it is passing an order, and SGST officer when it is asking SGST, it can become CGST officer and also pass order relating to SGST. I hope everyone is clear. If CGST officer is passing an order, forward remedy lies with CGST officer. If SGST officer is passing an order, further remedy lies with the SGST officer only. CGST, then CGST, SGST, then SGST officer. Right everyone, we are done with chapter number 1. The next class, I'll be showing you the chart of chapter number 1 and we'll be revising that chart and we'll go to the second chart. Right everyone, take care everyone. Bye. And keep revising, and please practice all the questions of chapter number 1. You will, if you don't have the hard copy now, you will be able to download. You will be able to not download, see the ebook section. Bye.